I work 12-hour shifts, so I tested 5 Claude side hustles by building the actual deliverables. Claude built a website prototype, repaired a spreadsheet, and turned a messy voice dump into a usable SOP. But it missed one tiny spreadsheet error, and that mistake explains why one idea ranked lower than I expected. Number 1 was the least flashy of all. Quick ground rules, because this channel doesn't do fake income screenshots. I tested whether Claude could help create something professional enough to offer, not whether pressing one button magically produces income. Nobody can promise you earnings. Results depend on your skill, your execution, and whether you talk to customers. Every idea today gets scored on 6 things: speed to a first offer, startup cost, beginner difficulty, market demand, repeat income potential, and how much human work is still on you. The scorecard updates live, and the ranking at the end genuinely surprised me. One question that gets skipped a lot is, what does this cost? When I checked Claude's official pricing page, the Pro plan ran $17 to $20 a month, depending on billing, and that's the plan that includes Claude Code. The free version doesn't. Prices can change, so the link's below. Everything I tested, including all 5 prompts, goes in a free download. Details at the end. Let's start at number 5. Number 5, digital products, templates, planners, prompt packs. Make it once, sell it forever. The internet's favorite. It's ranked last on my board, and I want to show you why honestly. Here's what's true. Claude is genuinely good at this part. Describe a niche you know well, and it drafts a planner, a checklist pack, a template fast. I drafted the same prompt pack you'll find below. And the problem is the part Claude can't touch. A product with no distribution often sells 0 copies, and building distribution is a second job. The one thing a person working 12-hour shifts doesn't have spare hours for. So the score, upfront cost is low. A Claude plan plus a storefront that may charge transaction fees. Difficulty, low. But speed to first dollar? Slowest on the list by far. Repeat income is possible if, big if, you ever crack distribution. My honest verdict, fine as a slow lane next to a service business. Terrible as your first move. If a video tells you passive income starts this weekend, close the tab. If you want more honest Claude workflows without the fake overnight income promises, subscribe to Pickle Samurai AI. I'm testing what actually works so you don't waste your limited time. Number 4, fixing broken spreadsheets with Claude Code. A lot of small businesses rely on spreadsheets held together with tape, broken formulas, duplicate rows, 3 different date formats, and a summary tab somebody meant to build in 2023. Many developers focus on larger projects, which can leave smaller spreadsheet repairs underserved. On that gap is the opportunity. I built a fictional coffee roaster's order tracker with several classic spreadsheet problems, formulas showing reference errors, totals typed in by hand, wrong, prices stored as text, duplicated orders, and a grand total that quietly ignored the last 12 rows. Quick distinction, because it matters here. Regular Claude is the chat window. Claude Code works directly with the actual files on your computer, which is exactly what a broken workbook needs. Then I gave Claude Code one instruction: diagnose everything before you fix anything. Watch this. It found the broken formulas with cell references, the fake hand-typed totals, the text prices, the duplicates, the short-changed grand total. Then it rebuilt the file, real formulas, one date format, the obvious duplicates removed, and a weekly summary tab with top products and top customers. And now the moment this whole video is built on, Claude completed most of the repair, but human review caught something it missed. Two versions of the same customer, Ren and Co., with a period and without. Claude normalized capital letters but not punctuation. So one customer stayed split in the report. I caught it, told Claude, and version 2 fixed it everywhere. That review is part of the service customers are paying for. Never hand a business a file you haven't checked. Real business decisions may depend on it. Score, demand is strong, and jobs are quick once you're comfortable. But this stays at number 4 on purpose. The deliverable touches real business data, and mistakes here cost real money. It needs the strongest verification skills on this list. Slightly technical viewers, this is your lane. Everyone else, keep watching. Number 3, website prototypes for local businesses. Here's the kind of brief an owner might send. This is exactly how I wrote the fictional one. We do landscaping. Company is Golden Bloom. We want it to pop. We like green. Feed Claude that brief, and you get exactly what it deserves. A wall of quality services, nothing text that looks like every abandoned site on the internet. Not broken. Worse, forgettable. Now the same business through a professional intake, services, service area, the one thing competitors can't say, the offer, and a rule I want you to steal: never invent testimonials. If the client has none, use a truthful trust line instead. Same tool, same business. Look at the difference. Clear headline, 4 services in plain English, a 3-step process, and a quote button you cannot miss. And it holds up on a phone, which is where your client's customers actually are. And when I asked for one revision, it landed in seconds. That loop, a client feedback to fixed prototype while they're still on the phone, is the service. Fiverr's current pricing guide puts freelance website design across a wide range, roughly $500 to $5,000 per project. A prototype alone is not the complete service. Pricing depends on discovery, revisions, publishing, hosting, support, and the freelancer's experience. First customer, don't cold message strangers. Pick one local business you already visit whose site is clearly outdated or difficult to use. Build the prototype first and show it to the owner in person. A finished thing in their hands beats any pitch you could write. Score, highest demand on the board, and the best wow per minute. It sits at 3 because client communication and going live eat real evenings. Quick pause. Which of these would you realistically try after work? Put the number in the comments. I read them, and it decides what I test next. Number 2, content repurposing. The clearest recurring service model on this list. Businesses have content rotting in blogs and podcasts and no time to feed the platforms every week. You become the person who turns one strong piece into a week of posts. Monthly retainer, repeatable work. I wrote an original post for a fictional physical therapy clinic, 5 stretches for shift workers, a topic I live personally, then had Claude turn it into a LinkedIn post, an Instagram caption, a 35-second video script, an email, and a 7-day content calendar. One source, 5 deliverables, 1 sitting. But here's the honest evaluation, because I actually read the outputs instead of just admiring them. 4 of the 5 sounded genuinely different. 2, the email and the LinkedIn posts, opened with the same idea in almost the same rhythm. Post both in 1 week and your client looks like a copy-paste operation. The fix took 2 minutes. Rewrite the email to open with the reader's experience instead of the thesis. That editing pass, keeping a client's voice consistent across a whole week, is the retainer skill. Claude produces the drafts. You produce the judgment. Score, low cost, low difficulty, solid demand, and the clearest idea on this board for monthly recurring work. Sked Social's current pricing guide starts typical monthly social media retainers around $500, then rises with the number of platforms, content volume, and scope. A repurposing package is narrower than full social media management, so price the actual deliverables, not the headline number. To land the first one, make a sample pack from a local business's own public content and send it to them finished. Proof, not promises. Ranked second only because one thing beat it. Number one. And I'll be honest, when I started this test, I'd have bet on the websites. The winner is the most boring thing I tested. Standard operating procedures, business documentation. Many small businesses rely on knowledge trapped in the owner's head. Training is follow Maria around for a week. Many owners know it's a problem, but keep postponing it because documenting a process takes time. So I wrote the world's messiest fictional voice note. A cleaning company owner rambling about move-out jobs, out of order, half-finished thoughts. Claude turned it into a real procedure. Purpose, who does what, step-by-step phases with the expensive mistakes flagged. A checklist a new hire can run on a phone, and a quality control section. One rule made it professional. I told Claude if information is missing, ask the owner, never invent a step. That rule is in the free prompt. Drop it into a branded template, print to PDF, and this becomes a client-ready starting point after the owner reviews and approves it. ZipRecruiter's current US data puts most freelance SOP technical writer listings around $29 to $47 an hour, depending on experience, location, and employer. That is job market context, not a promise of what a beginner can charge. A real client project still requires interviews, revisions, and approval. Now watch the scorecard because this is why it wins. Fastest path to a first offer. You can build a sample tonight from any business you already understand. Easiest skill floor. Careful listening and clean writing. No code, no design tools. Cheapest start. And it fits shift work life. SOP work can be scheduled into focused evening blocks, not a month of managing a client's website. Your first customer is probably someone you already know. Any owner who's ever said, training new people is killing me, offer a short sample SOP or discounted pilot, then quote the complete pack. The boring one wins. The final board, SOPs first at 25, repurposing right behind at 25, but slower to the first offer. Websites third on pure demand. Spreadsheets fourth, powerful, but they demand the most verification because real business data is on the line. And digital products last, not because they're fake, but because they're slow. If this comparison saved you some trial and error, tap like. It tells me to test more Claude workflows like this. Here's the whole video in one sentence. Claude can help you move faster, but it cannot choose a useful problem, earn trust, or deliver professional work for you. So don't start 5 businesses. Pick one service, build one strong example the way I did today, and have one real conversation with a possible customer. All 5 prompts and the scorecard are in the free pack linked below. Subscribe to Pickle Samurai AI and watch the video on screen next for another practical AI workflow you can use right now.